And a friend of ours called Rafan, who's a member, who's come down to support me a bit to teach me a few tricks of the trade. But
it's good. Like I said, I started doing this because I used to go to Speaker's Corner, and I love people interacting and debating, and I find it very interesting. And then when the COVID hit, I started doing podcasting for my own studio. I've got my own studio where I live. I made my own little gym, and I've got my own studio. And so I started podcasting, and then that's led me to other avenues and doors open where I've started communicating with people who I never ever thought I would. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People around the world. And
well, a lot of people have done
now
that.
Look where I am now. I'm with you now, you know. And it's a good journey to be on.
It's fascinating. I think I might have to do something similar with the new equipment and skills I'm learning in this campaign, and get myself a little studio set up or something. But George Galloway can do it all out of a bag, I think. Wherever he goes, he can just pop up his motor show. So yeah, that would be a level to aspire to, I think. I'll have to catch up with John.
I think it's a good way to reach out to your audience. Is if you do something, a podcast on a weekly basis, do a Q&A.
People get to know you, and that's what you're doing for me 100%. Today. I'm most thankful for. Start on this side, yeah?
Yeah, go. I'll go up there and come back round and we'll meet.
Okay, no problem. We'll take on that.
So we don't get lost.
No problem. Well organised, John. Thank you. So we'll just start over on that side.
It's raining the street here, John. That's Port, Fisher Road.
Oh, right.
Yeah, all my life I lived there until I moved out and bought my own property.
We were possibly neighbours at some point. I was at that was Beresford Avenue, just down the road, when I was at Cov Uni. So you never know, we might have been in the same area.
Yeah, this is my area. This is my hood, as they say.
No, I have some fond memories of living around here myself.
Yeah. It's always been quite multicultural here, quite diverse. It's had these positive and negative aspects of diverse, but you can start from just crossing over the road from there.
Just going to check if this house has got a letterbox around the side. Yeah, I think it has.
This is, yeah, okay.
Well, might as well. Well, I'll knock this one off anyway. Looks like a nice house. You really don't know where you're going to get support from. My granddad obviously was quite a rich bloke, and he lived in the Shrubberies, which is Coventry's richest street. And for a giggle, I thought I'd go over there and leaflet it last night, just to see what reaction I got on the streets a little. And it's actually quite funny. I mean, I met someone who had voted already, and I think he regretted his vote because he was chatting to two other people on the streets, and they had connections in Hoe with Tanush Kamara, and they were voting for her on the independent side in support of Palestine. So I know Tanush Kamara is supported by the Workers' Party, so I was able to go, well done, you've made the right choice there, Independence Day or whatever. We're all sort of supporting each other.
Influx of people joining the Workers' Party.
Yeah, it's been enormous since Galloway got in, and the support from independents is, I think, also growing. How many of them may join forming the Workers' Party in the future is going to be interesting. Hello there, sir. I'm just canvassing for the Workers' Party, George Galloway's party. If I can just leave you some information.
Oh, please, yeah.
Thank you.
Would you like that?
Sorry?
Would you like that? No? What are your cup? It's just going to go in the bin, mate.
Oh, is it? Oh. No problem. If you're not interested.
Sorry. Thank you anyway.
No problem.
Cheers.
Thank you, though. Saves me a leaflet.
Yeah, a lot of these properties. This is the brother's ears house.
Oh, right. Well, I might leave him an extra Workers' Party card.
Many years ago, I used to go to electoral services.
Oh, right.
And you should go knocking on people's doors to find out, register who lives in this property.
That's how the big boys do it. They'll have a printout of all the electoral register and absentee vote lists, and I'll be ticking off who votes for what. We're running a bit more of a basic campaign, I'm afraid, than those guys. We don't really have their funding, but really focusing on the right areas where people are going to be interested to vote.
Yeah.
Hope we'll come across some other Muslim brothers and sisters a bit later. Right.
to people from the Eastern Romanian community or Polish community.
Or students, I'm sure, as well.
Students and all. So there's a good mixture of people living in these houses.
I think it's just about making a bit of a splash, as George says it. What are you up to?
You've got a podcast. He's a Bengali who's actually living about Starbucks.
Oh, right. Hello, assalamu alaikum. How are you? I'm Paul, or Adam is my name in Islam.
You know my boy, don't you? Yeah, of course. I was seeing you in the gym. Okay. That's Brother Paul. He's
Adam.
Hi, Assalamu alaikum. You're right.
Assalamu alaikum, salam.
Okay, I'll leave it and I'll get on with my
No.
news.
No.
What was your
Yeah,
name?
the question, my name is Mina. I'm
Mina.
just not pissed off with what's on my language, but what Keith Cameron said about the Bangladeshi community.
We've done a lot of videos about this, and I'm absolutely outraged as well.
It's disgusting. Who the hell has he got to insult our Bangladeshi community, saying that it's expensive to send Rwanda people, but it's cheaper to send off Bengali people?
Yeah, and who are the Bangladeshi community?
Okay,
A lot of them are Rohingya that are fleeing genocide in Burma.
George Galloway's party. You know George Galloway, the MP. This is the party for Coventry.
And he didn't like it. That's why he wants to send us back.
No, but a majority of
It's disgraceful.
the community, Bengali community, is like we process everything, we make everything.
You're the hardest working community. You know, they own all the curry houses around here. You come over here, you know.
All these big brands here, we manufacture.
Yeah, and
But you know what? It's really, you know, the day he said that on the news, it's made my blood boil.
And why is he picking on your community? You're not even in the top 20 or 10, you know,
We're at the
immigrants coming
bottom.
here. Exactly, and you're the most peaceful community as well.
Yeah.
So I can't understand.
You know what?
His comments.
I don't think it's just the Bangladeshi community. I think it's every community. That's
But
I
the
actually
way
deep
he,
down, I
no,
think,
don't get me wrong, brother. Yeah, but we are the Asian community. That's on the way he pointed at Bangladeshi, putting the finger at Bangladeshi. That's
This is fascist rhetoric, and Workers' Party here.
Yeah.
I mean, we're British. We've beaten the fascists before, and
Yeah.
we're going to try and beat them again.
so you go into curry houses. Where does the meat and fish and the curry come from then?
I know who's doing the work for Keir Starmer's dinner.
No.
Anyway,
It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
I totally agree.
Tonight at 7 o'clock, I'll be inviting Paul and other members from the
Workers'
Workers'
Party.
Party of Britain.
Yeah.
So feel free to watch the podcast, and I'll put a link in the chat.
Yeah.
And then you can click the link if you want to come on the show and ask questions.
Yeah.
You can come on if you want to make a statement. You can. So I've got a YouTube channel called COVFF,
Right.
COVFF,
Okay.
on YouTube. So inshallah,
Yeah.
feel free to watch it tonight at 7 o'clock.
Okay, no
and
problem.
come on and
Yeah.
And there's a few leaflets in our 10-point plan as well, if you can give them out to friends and family before tomorrow.
No, definitely. And it's going to be an individual. Like, I'm not
It has to be.
Yeah, this way you know what. It's just community.
I'll be making
Well,
a video.
we are going to try and change things, really.
And highlighting some of the fly tipping, the rubbish,
It's not just like cooking.
parking.
Manhole, potholes,
I've got a
streets.
disability with my lower back, and they're driving with disability. Then I've got these number 47, trying to take my disabled parking away.
Oh.
Right? And then this guy, you know, here, he's completely disabled. They can't move his house. He's saying, they complain about him that he's got enough money to decorate his house. You know Shabir? Yeah. That's their landlord. That's their landlord. He's renovated the house because of the state he was in. He nearly died about 6 months ago. If my son didn't save him, there was a fire in the garden.
Wow.
And he still can't get his race. They've said that he's got enough money, and it's not fair to him.
No, it isn't.
They think they own the bloody road.
Hmm.
There's some decent ones across here. Johnny's wife, which is absolutely a gem. They just We're humans at the end of the day, you know.
Got to live together.
Yeah. But that doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
That's why
That's what I
you know there's certain toxic people I'd rather keep away and keep myself. So I know see it. You know them.
Yeah.
I know you, brother. I've seen you come
Yeah,
to the gym, so
always in the gym.
yeah. So that's it.
Yeah.
But you know what? Individual will win.
Yeah.
Well,
We'll
thank
make
you
sure
for your
it happens.
support, Mina. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, have a good day too.
Bye.
Thank you. Okay. Maybe go back on that side a bit. Salam alaikum, sister. I'll give you some leaflets about the Workers' Party, George Galloway's party, nothing scary. Where did we leave off here, was it?
Yeah. Continue on the move. See, that's what's quite interesting about this area. Sometimes personal issues are higher than global issues.
Yeah.
Parking. You know what I mean?
I know, states of the streets being dirty. A lot of my campaign's focused on that, really. Because, well, you've lived in Coventry all your life. You've probably seen how this really changed over the years.
Yeah.
We're not getting rained on too much, I hope. I might have to put my Mac on if this continues.
Yeah. When did you actually start canvassing?
I suppose it was about 2-3 weeks ago when I first got my leaflets.
Okay.
I was doing a lot of social media work on that, but it's quite intense actually being a candidate. The amount of emails and things you get and receive. Everything from books of Palestinian poetry someone sent to me and wanted it to share this morning, to issues on, well, everything from the Trussell Trust, digital rights, all sorts of things. What else was there? There's been a constant sort of mission replying to all these residents of Coventry who are emailing me and asking me, what are you pledging? What's your position?
Okay.
Yeah, it was great. Good contact.
Huh?
Good contact.
Yeah.
I think she's going to vote for us.
I think I'll get my brain back. I'll see in a minute.
Yeah, I might put my Mac on if this continues in a sec. Actually, probably a good idea. Yeah, maybe just... I don't know if it's going to stop or start. It's one of those...
There's a corner shop that's there on the corner of Victory Road.
Right.
Definitely pop in there.
Yeah, maybe see if we can take cover from rain over there in a minute. It keeps raining. John must have covered all his side of the street.
So it is quite a difficult task, isn't it? Like canvassing, physically going out there.
It is. I've worn my loafers today.
Yeah.
I need to get good feet for this. I was out a lot yesterday doing it. I think I dumped about, 500, 1,000
Because
leaflets
the
out.
bigger parties, they have individuals who are paid to go out.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm standing for Workers' Party.
To
George
go out
Galloway.
and
Thank you.
give and distribute on their behalf, don't they?
Yeah, they have large teams, and to really be successful in a campaign, you really ideally need a team of about 15 to 20 people to take it on properly. I've been watching how James Giles in Solihull and Hodge Hill is doing his. He's been Galloway's campaign manager through the Rochdale campaign at least. I think he was probably involved back in the Bradford West days, but he knows really what's needed to get a campaign going. If you've seen George's campaign up in Rochdale, he had, I think, 130 people out yesterday. Wow. That's how big his... So I think he's going to get a seat at least. The amount of support he's got there is massive. and he he posted a video about how his campaign went to a few Labour, like basically just the councillors and their wives are out campaigning against him. But that's the sort of level of support I wouldn't mind in Coventry one day. I started my campaign, as I say, going to Solihull to help support James Giles. But on that night, it was also an event for Jodie McIntyre. Don't know if you know Jodie, but he's a disabled candidate. I think there's only one in Parliament at the moment, but he's got cerebral palsy, unfortunately. But he's also been to Gaza and sat in the Palestinian camps for years and knows the people there and the issues. And he's standing against Jess Phillips, one of the main, Labour matriarchs. But I think also has a decent chance of winning. He put on a show at the Birmingham Hotel with not only Mark, I think it is, from Declassified UK, but also Loki, the rapper, if you know Loki, the rapper.
He's a very profound individual, very knowledgeable individual.
I got to meet him at that event, shake his hand, and, well, yes, he had a list of all the different names in Israel, in the parties. Oh, sorry.
Hi,
Hello there. I'm just from the Workers' Party. I don't know if you're voting for tomorrow, but we're not the Labour or Tory parties. Nothing scary. Thank you. What was I saying? I lost my train of thought there.
Loki.
Oh yes, Loki, and also Ahmed Yahoub I got to meet as well. He's a lawyer standing independently in Birmingham Ladywood. But they packed out a hall, absolutely packed with hundreds of people again, even without George Galloway turning up.
Assalamu alaikum. Long time no see. How are you? How's everything?
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
How are you?
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum
Paul or Adam. I'm standing for the Workers' Party of Britain in the election tomorrow.
MashaAllah, you leave it to us. We have had enough of the Labour now.
Thank you.
So,
Yes.
inshallah, I hope you do well tomorrow. And how are you?
We'll do our best.
Can't complain.
You still in Fisher Road?
नहीं नहीं ठहरे ना होना एक मकान ही था एक और मकान
I'm very, very happy to see
nice to
you.
see you Fisher Road asli
I know your base is there.
Mohammed Deen
I know them, your Nani. We know each other long time.
Yeah.
Inshallah, don't worry.
inshallah please have you
Zaruri hai,
vote,
zaruri.
please.
Ye aasa ki chahiye nahi.
Thank you.
Thank you.
okay
Okay.
Pleasure. Have a good day.
Thank you.
we'll pop into the shop
Yeah, sure.
thank you you're all right
Assalamu alaikum.
this is Brother Paul. He's from the Workers' Party of Britain. You know George Galloway? That's his party. So just want to, if it's okay, if we can maybe leave a flyer here. Yeah, that's right. Is that okay? Because everybody's fed up with the Labour Party, the Conservative Party. This is something different now. Any chance of putting something in the window? No.
With blue tack? No, okay.
Oh, 100%. You want me to translate?
Yeah.
You're saying like if you put one here, then the other parties they might have some issues, and then they'll.
You don't want issues, no problem. I understand.
Okay, perfect.
So I can leave you some leaflets,
Inshallah, see you later.
and maybe leave you a couple of leaflets. Thank you. Thank you.
Islam.
Have a good day. Thanks. It's good, isn't it?
Yeah,
Could do with one on my local shop, actually. I don't know where. I have to go down the road to recycle my clothes.
I think it's very important is to have this contact with people.
Yeah.
You know, the physical contact with people.
It is saying hello and getting them to know you.
Seeing you, speaking to you.
It's a much higher chance of getting a vote than just popping a leaflet through a door, but for now we just got to cover the ground with the leaflets, I think.
Yeah.
And,
Not easy task, is it?
yeah, and chat to people you meet on the street if you find a busy street.
So you're talking about Loki, yeah? And
Oh yes, and Ahmed Yahoub and this event that Jodie held. It really was quite powerful. I'd like to see something like that happen in Coventry. Maybe Loki will come down and support me one day. But it's that sort of support in certain key seats that I can see us doing well in.
It's sometimes it's strange how people can feel like shy when they know like they're being recorded or something. So I record this area a lot when I'm walking around, just to highlight some of the environmental issues that people are having and how bad, how disappointed they are with the local councillors. You know, they promise you with so much promises and then don't do anything.
Yeah. Housing is a major problem in Coventry that needs sorting out at different levels. But one of the things that we're supporting is, as the Workers' Party, is the tenant co-op model. So the tenants own the housing companies rather than the big book slumlords.
We do that here in Coventry. There used to be an organisation called Whitefriars. Well, the Coventry City Council used to do you can, after a certain period of time, you can either pay half of the rent as a mortgage, or after about 10 to 15 years or a period of time, you can buy the property.
Yeah, there's not so much of that anymore.
Called Whitefriars, on behalf of the Coventry City Council, kind of started to maintain the property. So that stops any chance of you buying a property from the local authority.
Yeah, that's been a problem. And one of the Coventry Citizens Party's policies that I'm also supporting is actually setting up a new housing company that's owned by the council, because we need a lot more houses. I think Keir Starmer wanted, well, whatever Keir Starmer wants, we want to double it or triple it, and just build up, the council housing, a quality, decent council housing we need. We're facing huge homelessness problems in Coventry as well. Massive of people are sleeping on the streets.
I think I did some research the other day about homelessness here in Coventry.
It's very severe.
It's been the same figure for about 10 years. But there's a massive block in Hillfields called the Salvation Army.
Yes.
Yeah, there are a lot of the accommodation for homeless people, and even to this day, they're still extending and making that building bigger to house or give accommodation to people who are homeless.
Yeah, I think you'll find over the last year, I'd have to check the figures myself, but with the cost of living crisis, I don't expect those figures will be going south, they'll be going north. So we need to plan for this sort of thing, really. And just the increase in people in the city.
I think what keeps this city afloat is the amount of students that come and use the university. You have a lot of foreign students. I think that's why I think actually balances the books in this city.
It does to an extent.
Somewhere around here, there's a tap dog. By that, I mean, he was the chairman of the Labour Party North East Constituency Labour Party, yeah? He joined politics for the Labour Party way back in the day because he had Margaret Thatcher.
Oh, yeah.
Don't even ask. He's in it for his own self, and he's very defensive of the Labour Party. So if you see him, don't engage, because it'd be a complete and absolute waste of time.
Yeah, yeah.
And he can have a tendency to get a bit uppity and a bit ferocious.
Yes, well, be a little courteous but careful with Labour supporters if we run into them.
Just giving us back in the face.
Well, let's not say that on camera, but anyway. John is a nice character. He seems to know a lot about local politics as well.
Yeah. just can't believe how quickly he announced the elections, right? And now you got the betting scandal. It's crazy.
I almost feel like it's a setup for the Conservatives to lose in a way. At work, I listen to talk radio a lot, which is part of the Zionist sort of Murdoch empire, and they're heavily for the Reform Party now, and really, I think for months have just been ripping into the Conservatives about all their failings on COVID, on well, not so much the war in Ukraine, but they've been ripping into that, and the migrant crisis, of course. But it seems like a little bit of a setup. If Murdoch's supporting it, I tend not to trust it.
Exactly. So yeah, I'll ask you the question about the betting scandal. Do you think people will get sent? Do they actually go down for it, or do you think they will get a slap on the wrist?
It's probably quite hard to prove the problems the Gambling Commission are investigating. In some cases, it could be some, I think, more than a slap on the wrist, we'll say. I think some of the
footballers, because they're not allowed to bet, are they? Like on a football match or anything like that.
No, I mean it's.
If they're involved in the betting themselves, they can get banned from football.
Yeah, at least the candidates involved have been deselected at last by Rishi Sunak, who took his sweet time doing it. So, yeah, that's one more than a slap on the wrist. But we'll see what all these police officers and other people are involved and how it all works in the swamp, as we might say.
We just put the Workers' Party of Britain.
Hello there. Wondering what that person is. I think we're getting ahead of John here.
Yeah. That's Bedson Avenue there, that road in front of us.
Oh, right.
Links onto Bilbar Avenue.
Ah, I'll have to go and see if I can spot my old student house.
I just started a course myself, teaching English as a foreign language.
Oh, right.
Foreign language.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that